Welcome to the first Corner Talk video here on More Entertainment. Today we are reviewing Thor Ragnarok. Man, that was an awesome title card, man. Good job.
Thank you so much. I had a lot of fun working on it.
Yeah, it looks great. So, as you can tell, we are reviewing the highly anticipated Thor Ragnarok. And before we get started, we wanted to say, spoiler warning. All spoilers. If you just want to know, if you want to see this movie, go see it. Mm-hmm. Do you agree?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Highly recommended. Well worth your money. Matinee showing, easily.
Yeah. Go see it. You're going to have a great time. You're going to love this movie. Alright, so to get started, let's go over a quick overview for Thor Ragnarok.
Okay, so what Thor Ragnarok is basically about, it is basically what the trilogy has been leading up to. Everything that has happened in the last two movies is important for this one. It all comes around, it all comes full circle.
Yeah, I understand, it's leading up to him finally taking the throne.
Yeah.
The thing that, the very, very first movie, he wanted so badly, but then didn't get. And in the second movie, he decided he didn't want. But in this one, he gets the throne. All right. So the first thing we want to talk about is Thor's growth. What do you think about his growth in this movie?
It's a long time coming, to be completely honest. Thor has had the biggest growth in a long time. I think the only time I've seen him grow this much was probably, honestly, Avengers.
I guess we know, it kind of feels like he's never deserved the throne, especially after the events of the first movie. He felt that he could do the job of king better without being king, but he's the only one that can be king. It's kind of like Simba. He's the only one that can be king.
Well, he can't wait to be king.
Very true.
And then he decided he didn't want the throne. Just like Simba. I never thought of that. Good job.
Very true. Okay, so, but yeah, so now I'm sure you want to know, how did the other characters do in this movie? And what has Marvel always been terrible at?
Oh, the villains.
Yeah. There's been a couple snoozers in there, except for, Loki, which Thor is that's his villain.
Thor's bread and butter, for the most part, if you don't include the Dark World, has been its villains.
Yeah. So, this one is Hela. So, what did you think of Cate Blanchett's Hela?
So, Cate Blanchett did a great job playing Hela. She is a villain who loves to be evil, which is something we don't get to see all that often. Even with Malekith, right?
Yeah.
So he was also so he's also a character who was based around being evil, but he's just way too brooding. While Hela is a lot more fun. She plays with the role a lot. She is the one who exposes Asgard for having the dark past that it has.
Yeah. And that was really interesting with Asgard and Odin, that they aren't as great as they've been leading up since the first and even the second movie. They have a dark side, which is awesome. I love seeing that nobody is perfect. And the fact that Odin has a bad past and Asgard has a bad past, where there's slaughter, there's mayhem, and there's just blood. And that's what Hela just craves, is that blood, that battle, that death. Especially, since she is the goddess of death. But moving on from her, the next big one I think that we should talk about is Hulk.
Hulk had his standout moment for a fact, more so than in any other movie, even his own, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
He actually had a character this time, even if that character was childish for the most part.
Well, I mean, when you talk about him being kind of childish, that's him developing that intelligence. Because, most time it's as, Banner puts it in the movie, it's him and Hulk have a hand on the wheel. This time it's Hulk driving and Banner's in the trunk.
Yeah.
And he can't get out. And so the Hulk has to develop these relationships with people and has to be able to communicate more than just screaming. Mm-hmm. And that's what, with these very minimal things he says, he translates it very well.
He does.
It's great because that's the thing that they bring up in the movie. He's been Hulk for 2 years. 2. Banner has been gone for 2 years. And I think it's great. I loved him. I thought he was funny. He was not necessarily compelling, but I loved seeing Hulk on screen. He wasn't just a rage monster.
There were definitely scenes where he overshadowed Thor.
Yeah, there were some good scenes in there, too. There were some funny ones, too. But so
That's
the next
my
one we
brain.
want to talk about is Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie. What'd you think of her?
So, Tessa Thompson I have not seen before until this movie. So this
Yeah.
is really my first my first time seeing her.
Yeah.
For the most part, I was impressed. Valkyrie, she plays an important role, but I don't think she was a standout role.
No, she didn't overshadow anybody, which is great because there's so many other characters in this movie. But she brought this Valkyrie character, and you really got to learn their backstory. It was great to see these female characters come alive in the rise in Marvel finally. Because you don't, besides Black Widow and a few others, there's not a lot.
I mean, I do appreciate her kind of being a drunk.
Dude, that was hilarious.
It was hilarious, and
You got until the end of me drinking this. Done. Walked out. It was great.
but for the most part, I liked her character. I like that she did play kind of an integral part in the actual story. But what her backstory mostly did for me was kind of served as kind of fleshing out Hela's backstory. It really didn't service her. I mean, it did, but it was mostly in service of Hela.
I can understand that, but it's still good to see her in there.
Oh, definitely.
And it was funny because at first it seemed like they were kind of pushing her as the new love interest for Hulk. Not Hulk, I'm sorry, but for Thor.
Yeah.
But then it kind of turned around like it was going to be more for Hulk, which I kind of like that better. Especially I like that way better than Black Widow Hulk. The next thing I want to talk about is Loki.
Okay.
I think, it's very interesting because Loki's always been the standout for the Thor movies.
Yeah.
But this time, I don't think he was. What do you think?
Kind of on even terms with Thor, I would say at this point, which is not bashing against Loki, because Loki was just as good as he's always been. That more goes to Thor for kind of improving his game.
Yeah, I understand that. And it was really cool to see, that Thor was kind of a dick. And it was great. He's not this Shakespearean person the whole time that's always so self-righteous. He's an asshole, too. And it's great to see that between both of them.
Oh, yeah.
I think the last character we should talk about is Doctor Strange. He wasn't in it for very long, but personally, I liked it. I think because when you think about the scope of this movie, they go to 4 different planets. I don't know if there's been another Marvel movie where that happens. And then they mention a fifth planet, Xandar.
Yes. Now, that's not why I like Strange in it. The reason why I like Strange in this movie is because he so perfectly portrayed Strange from the comics. And if you don't know, Strange doesn't like Asgardians, not even Thor. So the idea that any Asgardian was on Earth bothered him, which is why he was like, so if you were to get Odin, both you and Loki would leave back to Asgard post-haste? That's why he said it, because he doesn't like Asgard being on Earth.
He wants them gone. And he's only in it for not even 5 minutes, but I enjoyed it. It was great to see him.
It was
again.
great.
Especially after they teased it at the end of Doctor Strange about a year ago when it came out. It was great to see that finally come together, and it was just fun to have them.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we already kind of talked about it a little bit, but the brother dynamic, in which that they kind of bounce off each other.
Yeah.
Because this movie kind of feels like a buddy cop comedy. But
I think there are like multiple buddy cop moments for different characters.
Exactly, because it's going to be Thor and Loki sometimes.
Yeah.
But then it's also going to be Thor and Hulk. And so,
and
even sometimes it's Thor and Valkyrie. So it's just like, there's so many different moments. It's not just 2 singular cops together. It's just Thor partners with so many different people. And you can even say it's Thor and Dr. Banner.
At points, yes.
Just Thor and Dr. Banner are almost... Dr. Banner and Hulk are almost like 2 different characters in this movie.
No, they are different characters.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying... So you can even compare those 2 together as a buddy cop moment.
Yeah.
And it was great to see that. Now, going into that, the shift in tone and humor for this movie, what did you think?
Much needed.
Yeah.
Much needed. Because that's what the Thor movies, for me, that's what they've been missing. Because, don't get me wrong, Thor 1 and Thor 2, they had their funny moments, but it's never been about the comedy for those movies. It's always been about the drama.
And I think you can link that back to the writer, and especially the director, Taika Waititi. I know you've seen some of his stuff before. Can you tell us about him a little bit?
Okay, so I've only ever seen one of his movies before this one, and I saw it before I ever knew he was going to be doing Thor. And the movie in question is What We Do in the Shadows. What that movie is, it's a vampire mockumentary about 3 vampires who live in a small cramped apartment in London, and it goes about their daily lives and how they live as vampires in the modern day. It's a very funny movie, and most of the lines in the movie are actually ad-libbed.
Okay, that's great. Which, I mean, and if you've seen Thor Ragnarok, he does make a reference because he is one of the characters. He's the rock character, I think, Korg.
Yeah, Korg.
Yeah, and he says like, "Why would you need this? It's just like 3 prods. It's like if you were trying to zap 3 vampires something together." He's making a reference to his own movie, which was hilarious and fun if you know that reference. If you don't, it's still a funny line, and I liked it.
And the humor that Korg gives throughout the movie, that kind of very dry, subtle humor.
Yes.
That's all what we do in the shadows is.
Yeah, I love dry humor. It's kind of it's not like Monty Python dry humor.
Yeah, so basically,
But
if you
great.
liked Korg in the movie, give What We Do in the Shadows a look at. Odds are you're gonna really love it.
Yeah, I'll probably go watch it. So what are some negatives for you?
We both saw the movie 2 times. Upon second viewing, some of the jokes don't hit as well as they did before.
I agree.
Now, granted, the ones that did still stick, they still made us laugh pretty hard.
Yep.
Except for Korg. Korg was never not funny for me.
Yeah, I think his hit a lot. I think the only thing that I could have had a small issue with Korg in his joke is at the very end when, Asgard's being destroyed.
Yeah.
He's trying to make a joke about the Foundation. And I laughed both times. It's both really funny. I kind of wanted that to be a more emotional moment.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't take away from it. It's just kind of these are kind of nitpicks. Honestly,
But that's
'cause
kind
it's
of
a good movie.
But
we
honestly,
wanna-
that's kind of what Taika does. Is he likes to take these either somber moments or serious moments, and he likes to undercut them with humor. You see it all the time in What We Do in the Shadows.
Okay, that's fine. My only other big negative is that Thor has like his pals on Asgard, and they're literally just killed, and then they're never brought up again. And it's like, dude, those were his friends from the other 2 movies.
Oh yeah,
And you're not even
they're
gonna
all
care.
dead. So if you liked any of those characters, which I can't remember the names of, they're gone.
Yeah.
They're dead.
Which I think it's kind of good too, because we're starting to get close to Infinity War, where people are gonna start dying, and they might not even have to bring it up because Thanos is just gonna kill them.
Mm-hmm.
So this might be like that beginning spot where people are just gonna die with no explanation, and they're not gonna bring him up again. So get ready, because Thanos is coming. All right, so to kind of wrap up this video, how do you rate this?
I would give it, out of 10, I'd give it a 7.
Okay, I think for me, out of 10, I'd actually give it an 8. I think that it has its negatives that pull back. Some of the jokes don't hit again twice, but it's still a good, fun, colorful movie. It's great. You see them go to the different planets. You see Thor and Loki interact as brothers for once, or at least in a more emotional and brotherly way. And I think it has a great payoff in the end.
Yeah.
So,
And also, I've heard complaints that there wasn't enough of Jeff Goldblum, especially since they leave Sakaar so instantly you don't really see what happens. And to those people, I say, you obviously didn't stay until the end of the credits.
yep. And with that, we go on to close out this video. Tell us what you thought about this movie in the comments below, and we hope you have a smashing day. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed this video here in Corner Talk.
If you liked what you saw, please comment, like, and subscribe down below.
And don't forget to ring that bell so you know when we have the next video up.
Until then,
We would like to see you in the next corner. Have a great day, guys.
goodbye.